Hi guys, welcome to my IG live sessions today. I'll be interviewing a good friend of mine, and yeah, it will be an interesting discussion, best believe. I was actually talking to him 2 days ago, so it's gonna be lit. You can know for sure that it will be lit. I'm excited because he said something that I thought was really interesting, so I'm gonna wait for y'all to come online and join the party, and then we'll see what happens. Hi Lyra, thank you for joining. You're my first viewer. I'm just waiting for Kizito to join, and then we'll be able to get started. Is my volume fine? Let me hold my phone better. Is my volume fine? I think I'm holding the speaker. Alright. Hi Lyra. Alright guys, so I'll just start. Basically what is going on today is I'm having one of my IG live sessions. I'm so excited because I'll be talking to Kizito Bonna. I'm obsessed with the way that he thinks. I love the way he thinks about things is something I feel a lot of us could learn from. I've learned from it. I've benefited from it literally since the day I met him. And this topic that we're going to be talking about in terms of timelines, the interesting thing about today's conversation is that him and I don't agree on a couple things, and we thought there would be a beauty in that because, you guys will be able to get two strong perspectives in a respectful way. So I'm really excited to be, basically doing that, discussing such an important topic on timelines. And tomorrow, I was actually just wrapping up tomorrow's blog post on creative blocks, and it's beautiful, guys. It's a work of art. I hope you guys will be tuning in for that tomorrow on my website. Hi at Kinyua, thank you so much for joining me. I'm waiting for Kizito. Hi Tugzan. Your sister loves you if she stops watching Beyonce on Global Citizen to come and watch your live. Let me invite Kizito and see if it will work. Kizito, where are you? Give me a second, guys. Let me go check where he is. My sister's terrible. Hi, Mazid. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Michelle. Mazid, could you please call Kizito and ask him to go online? Because I don't think he's online, and I've been waiting. Hi! Hi, Mazid. Please call Kizito, dog. I don't know where your boy is. I feel like I should start the live again and try and invite him, but I'm not sure. I think I'll try to do it again in 2 minutes, and then I'll see if I could be able to add him, just so that when it's playback, when it's playing back, it will not have all these weird complications. Oh my gosh, Kizito, where are you? I was talking to him just now. Okay guys, let me end this live video, but come back. Let me end this live video and then let me try call him, because he said he was online. I just don't know if it's a network issue, but let me do that. So please stay tuned. Kizito, thank you for joining, finally. Alright, send the request. Let's do this, bruh. Hey, there we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now it's a network issue. Hey, dog.
Hi, is the lighting bad?
What's up?
What up,
Bruh,
man?
like you should see what I had to do to get the lighting that I have now. What's up? How you doing?
I'm alright, man. I wish I could do
So first of
something,
all,
do a little bit more. Yeah.
wait, are you standing? Are you sure you can stand the whole time? Because it's quite a bit
No, I'm
of
sitting.
content.
I'm sitting.
Oh,
I'm sitting. Yeah.
all right, dope. So, first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I was saying earlier that I'm so excited for this because, I feel a lot of people can learn from you. A lot of people can grasp from your knowledge. I feel like your perspective on things has been so amazing in the past years of me knowing you and being able to share that with the
Thank you.
people that, follow me is something I'm really excited about. Hi at official pins. Anyways,
That's
yeah,
my brat.
so
What up, bro?
yeah, I see him. But yeah, so I'm excited for this live for many reasons, but I'll just get straight into it and yeah, we'll be able to discuss from there. So first of all, this interview is aimed at creating an open discussion about time and project management, where the thin line is between the two, how they tie to together, how they coincide to create a meaningful creative process essentially, and how we can maximize our time and manage our time better, but still have, projects that are groundbreaking and that are, given enough time to and not just rushed over. So my first question is, what is your stance on timekeeping for the creative? Why do you think it's important, or do you not think it's important?
Okay, it's definitely important. I think the main reason I think it's important because for a lot of us, we're young and a
Right,
lot of us maybe haven't gotten to the points where we want to reach. You know what I mean? We have ambitions of working on bigger projects and so on. So essentially, we're working against time because we're definitely going to get better the more we do stuff, right? So if I'm going to do stuff and get better, eventually, by that rationale, I'll get to the point where I'm doing the stuff which I'm like, wow, this is Kendrick Lamar, this is Basquiat or whatever. So it's simply a matter of time. So because of that, the point of it is to just keep working, doing as much as you possibly can for you to eventually reach that point. You know what I mean? So time is very important
right,
because if you procrastinate and you don't do any projects, you don't work. If you don't work, you won't get better, and you know, you won't get better in the time you need to get better. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think
right,
time is undeniably the most important factor in all of this. You know what I mean? Like we all say, if we could go back to when we were 5 years old with the memories we have, how beast would we be? So essentially we have to like do that today. We need to treat today like the last moment, you know what I mean? And beyond that we can
right,
also we might not live forever, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So like might as well make something dope today. So to kind of like if legacy is something that's important to you, it's your chance to today is your chance to make something to be remembered for.
right.
Jean, bro, what's up, bro? Yeah.
All right, so my next question is basically in light of, I mean, we work solo, both of us kind of work on our own independent projects, from what I understand. And so I wanted to find out, we have this tendency when we work alone to, like you're saying, procrastinate and kind of not consider time because I guess we're in a position where no one is holding us accountable to do things. And so we feel like we can skimp on that and we can just like do things whenever we want to. This leniency, I just wanted to understand, like this leniency that I think anyways is important, is prevalent in a lot of solo creators who work individually. What do you think it's detrimental to the quality of work that is put out? Do you think it affects the way
Yeah.
our contributions to the art scene look like, or the creative scene?
Okay, it's like I kind of like have two main points with this question. The
Right,
first part of it is similar to my first answer. It's like this is our chance, and if you don't take your chance, You know what I mean? Like you're just it's detrimental to yourself in that way. Like you're only costing yourself. No one's waiting for me to put out anything. You know what I mean? Like no one's looking at
Right.
Instagram every single day. Like when's this guy posting? It's up to me to push myself to post and to build something if that's what I want to do. But at the same
Right.
time, I'm not really one to tell someone to um feel bad or guilty about the fact that they've procrastinated. Everyone procrastinates. It's almost like impossible to not procrastinate. So it's like what I would try to do is like if I'm like, okay, I've spent a week just looking at the page, I haven't written anything. It's almost like that's kind of like all this energy is building up inside me. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
piling up. It's like blowing a balloon that's just about to burst, you know? So if you take that moment of like, wow, I've wasted so much time, but you funnel it towards actually creating something that you're proud of, you know what I mean? It almost kind of like you've taken something that you did wrong, procrastinate, and you've tried to make something positive of it by making something more passionate and more, with so much more behind it. So essentially, I wouldn't want to use the word it's detrimental to you. It's more like we need to push ourselves to not procrastinate, but let's not hate on ourselves when we procrastinate because there's no need to hate on ourselves. Everyone does it. You know what I mean? We're just trying to be the best we can be. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Right. I just want to read a couple
Yeah.
comments. Alira says, today is your chance to make something of yourself. And that is very true. Every step that a creative makes in every day, or anyone really, any step you make every day leads to something bigger and who you're going to become. So I second that. I'm also looking at a comment by Michelle. She says, I procrastinate a lot. I need to step up. And I don't know, for
We
me,
all
I
do.
think we all do. We all do. In fact, my next question brings up the statistics. We have like 25% of adults who are chronic procrastinators, chronic like every now and then, not every now and then, but regularly, they procrastinate on several different kind of projects or things that they're doing in their lives, and for so many different reasons, which I'll be delving into in my blog post tomorrow. But I wanted to ask, what's your journey been like with procrastinating? Because for you to be in the position where you are right now, where you're able to kind of see the importance of time management, I'm going to assume that's because you've had a journey of procrastinating or experiences with it, or let me just say you've learned to deal with it better. And I want to understand what steps have you taken to lead towards that?
Okay. I've actually taken a few steps. Yeah, actually. Firstly, I would say a big part of what I think people should try to do when trying to become something, if you're trying to like become a designer or a musician or a filmmaker, the idea is that we're supposed to be trying to do something that we like, right? So it's
Right,
almost like we should by habits be doing what we want to do. So something like watching movies, because filmmaking is my goal. Watching movies, there was a period in my life, not right now, but like when I was really starting, what my goal was to watch movies. And I didn't have to think about
right,
it. I didn't procrastinate to watch movies. And if you love writing, you write. You know what I mean? Like if you love playing the piano, you play the piano the whole day. When you start making it a task, that's when you find that you're gonna start procrastinating because you have to push yourself to do it. And that obviously, I'm not saying you don't love the thing. It's just that you've kind of told yourself in your head that it's a task now. And I think what I've
right,
done, the main thing that I've done is like with writing, when I want to write, and I know that I need to push myself, but maybe I can't. Collaboration is something that helps me. Like I just call my friend Tony. I just tell him, hey, bro, today we need to work. And then when he's sitting there doing what he's doing and I have to do what I'm doing, there's something about his presence and the fact that we're both working, which makes me work. And he, like, if he sees me pick up my phone and start going on Instagram or whatever, he'll remind me, he'll alert me to the fact that I'm starting to procrastinate again. So just having that check, you know what I mean? Someone to just, it's self-inflicted because I'm telling someone to do it, but it's essentially giving myself a reason or like a reminder, a constant reminder, and
right.
and that's helped me a lot. Um, that helped me with my most recent film that I wrote, like because I had to get so much done in such a short period of time because, um, you know, we had to go. We had to go. So like to get someone to help
Right.
you, that helps. And
Did
what else
you
have I
have
done?
Did you have, just on
Yeah,
that note, do you have to-do lists for your creative process? Do those work for you since you're more of a listing person? Do you have like, okay, this is what I'm
definitely.
gonna do, and then this is what I'm gonna do?
Always, always, always. I have so many lists. You know what I mean? Like I write lists every single day. Like today I need to do this, tomorrow I need to do this. I have it for the whole week, I have it for the month, I have it for the year. And I'm always, sometimes I even spend time procrastinating by making more lists, which is problematic.
Right,
But but I'm always trying to be conscious of what it is I need to get done because essentially if you have like, and what I try to do, right, is if I have maybe let's say I have 10 things to do, I like to prioritize
hmm
them so that when I'm, chilling, just doing the 10th most important thing, I know that like having everything prioritized and listed for me in order, it reminds me, okay, no, look at number one. It's time to do number one. When I do number one, it's going to help me feel good. I'm going to feel like I'm actually progressing with the task that I have at hand. So
right,
always having not just a list of what I need to do, but having them prioritized, like ordered by priority, that helps. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. At the end of the day, it's like we all know what we need to get done. It's just that reminder,
right.
making it clear as possible in your face. Like it's like almost like someone holding something in front of your phone, saying, "Hey, bro,
Okay.
just by the way, you have to do this, just by the way," and then eventually you just do it, and you have to do whatever it takes. But also, what I wanted to say is like related to the point of you do what you love. You have to try and push yourself to remember that I'm doing this because I want to, I enjoy it, and I
Mm.
shouldn't see it so much as a chore. Um, and something else that you had mentioned before was the idea of procrastination largely, and I think you were going to mention this, but maybe you did, like you kind of wrote it, was that the idea is we want to impress. And this is the only
Mm.
thing that I had to double check before this interview. Like I went and just read up, I went and watched this interview that I'd seen a few years ago of this guy called Dan Harmon, who's the writer of Rick and Morty, and it's a dope show. And he's a dope writer. He's smart. So he kind of said that um, he said that the idea is that we all love quality, right? So if we love quality, we want to produce quality. And what we consider quality is people higher than us, people better than us. So essentially, we are trying to do what is better than what we can do, which is impossible. So if we just understand that what I'm trying to do now is not really get to exactly where I'm going to end up, but I'm trying to take a step forward. And if we see the job as just taking a step rather than make the most beautiful dress or make the most amazing story, just take a step, just tell a story, make a dress, play a song. I think that kind of helps you alleviate the pressures of of getting a job done, of what makes you procrastinate. So that's some of the stuff
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I like that because, as you're speaking, I'm thinking of, for me, the one person I've observed, like in our creative circle, who I feel like out of all of our friends, who doesn't procrastinate is, or has an easier way of dealing with it, is Ray. And that's why I posted like the picture I put up and said the collective effect of his work, because knowing like he just started, all of those were just probably like one shot he took per day, or like, you know what I mean? It wasn't as grand
Yeah,
as it appeared when it was there at the expo. That's when you like really acknowledge like, man, and that's not even all of the pictures, because he took 500 of those. And those are just the few that he shows
yeah,
us. And it's like just the idea of starting and not being too hard on yourself. Like you said, there are two main reasons for procrastinating: fear to impress, or meet people's expectations, or if you're, wondering if you're going to meet people's expectations. And then I think it's also fear of setting the bar too high, like you were saying. If you decide,
yeah.
okay, I'm going to create the best of the best work that I can, like, do your best. I feel like do your best, but I
Do
feel
your
like
best.
leave room for, first of all, trust that you'll be able to do better again when have another opportunity to create. Because I know people who literally don't create because they're like, if I do this one thing, I'll get shine for it, and I like can't. I don't know what to do next after that. Like I have nothing else to do. And they start thinking far into the
Mm.
future, like what am I gonna do after this work? You know what I mean? So I think that's like
Yeah,
another thing. So like it's both fear of setting the bar too high and fear of failing to impress. Let me read a couple comments. Michelle
yeah.
says, I have a list as well, but
Let's try
sometimes
and
life
answer
gets
that
in the way.
question.
Then the list changes. Huh? You wanna
Someone
take
asked
that?
the question. I want to take the question. What is it? Like, how do you stay motivated to keep
Yes,
creating
to keep
even when you
creating
still
music.
have a way to go to get to your vision? How do you stay motivated? I don't know. Okay, I think a step. I think when you have a plan for where you're gonna go and you know the steps, you see what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people's plans aren't step based, which I think is problematic. This year, like, I think the thing I've done the most is plan. You know what I mean? Like, I spent too much time
Right,
planning. And something that I've identified is everyone has a plan, but the plan is vague. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I'm gonna end up working with Kendrick Lamar. That's my plan. It's like that's not a plan. That's the aim. That's the goal. It's like you need to say, if I do this, if I make this album, then the next album, this one's gonna have music videos, and this one is going to reach that person, and then after that, I'm going to start working with my friend over there. Who it's like it's a sequence, right? So if you know that you have to do step one, two, three, four, up to 20, you know that doing it's when you do step one, that's motivating. It's like I've done something. I've done 5% of the total goal to working with Kendrick Lamar one day. Dope. So it's like respecting the little that you do, basically. If you respect every
right,
step of the journey because you see where it's going, it's motivating. You know what I mean? It's like that's what it is. Like that's what it is for me. I know that when I just make a little
right,
short film and no one sees it, but I know how important it is for me to have made a film.
right,
Before I had made a film, like I'm in a way worse position than I am now that I've made it. You see what I mean? So it's like doesn't matter how good it is, it's like I made a film. Next step, make a film that at least one person likes. You know what I mean? And then you move from there.
These ones.
So it's just about
Right.
respecting each step. Yeah.
I like that.
Um,
Like for me, my answer to Lyra's question on how to stay motivated, for me, I think motives have worked for me. Like my personal creative process is tying it down to motives. It's not just about doing something because you love it, but then it's like, no, you have to do this because of this end result. And that changes depending on what project I do, but that's important. I like that you just brought up working in solitude, producing work that you don't release. So I think also Lyra could try to do that. Like you could, she's a makeup artist, so maybe she could go do a face and just maybe she could do like 10 faces and take pictures and just put them in her room. You know what I mean? I feel like there's so much power when you do stuff and you don't release. Because sometimes it's frightening to release, and sometimes you don't do things because you're literally just thinking about the result, not the results, the reaction of people. And then you're like, oh no, let me not. You know what I mean? And sometimes even the way you perceive people's reactions is wrong. Like you don't know how people react to your work. There's people who've said like this was my favorite song from the album, but that's not the song that did well, and that song that I didn't like did well, etc. You know what I mean? So I think that's for me my take on staying motivated. Jono says working together with like-minded people on a project helps. I think if you are determined as a team, then you can push each other to keep at it. A lot of my procrastination stems from lacking partners. Do you want to maybe, how do I put this, agree with that in light of working on Forest for the Trees, since there was a group work
sorry,
in
say that
it?
again.
Do you want to take on this
Sorry.
question in light of the film you released this year? Forest for the Trees.
Yeah.
Forest for the Trees.
Sub Jono, I agree with you there, bro. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do for 2019. Is like 2019, my plan is to make sure I have a team. That's literally like all of like essentially the final quarter of this year, I've just been like building that team, getting everyone on board, talking to them very seriously, you know what I mean? Looking at them and saying, "Hey bro, next year we're not no one's doing anything by themselves anymore." You know what I mean? We're no longer just gonna be like on our separate thing together and we're gonna help
Mm,
each
yeah.
other grow. That's the plan. Because, you know, it's exactly that. Like when you have people who are pushing you and people like it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Plus you grow together, your brand grows together. It's literally it's unbelievable just how little collaboration is taken seriously in Botswana. Like it's so disrespected. Like I think it's because people don't believe in other people as much as maybe they believe in themselves. They
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
feel like they know what to do. They look at others like, nah, that person doesn't know, so I'm gonna do it myself. Whereas if they actually just trusted someone else to do what they were gonna do, and you trust what you're gonna do, and you now don't do the same thing, you know what I mean? Like you divide the roles, the tasks, everything's being done faster, because like we said, it's all about time. It's like if I can get a film made, in a few months rather than the amount of time. Like editing right now, like I don't know if Jerry's still here right now, but I'm supposed to have been editing for so long, and it's so difficult to just overcome that thing. Yes, I have excuses like my laptop and whatever, but if I knew that I'm gonna trust this guy, he's my editor, all of a sudden I've made a film. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna trust that this person's gonna do the running around to get all the props that we need and all the locations that we need, it like we can make film so much faster. So it's like not even just about motivation, but even the idea of efficiency. You know what I mean? Everything
Mm,
comes
yeah.
from teamwork. Like the best companies, I don't know, like everyone knows, like the best companies are companies. That's what company literally means. And it's like people are acting like their one man company is has the same advantages as the multinational company. It's like you have to
Mm.
build something, and that building is through people. People are the best resource. It's like something that I just think people don't understand. And at the end of the day, you just have to set the pace.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to do it. Like so, I hope to do that next year and to not just talk about it because people talk about collaboration.
Mhm.
People
I
have
think
been
that's
talking about
true.
collaboration in Botswana.
Right. I think that that's true for many reasons. I like that John just said an idea's potential and input should always be welcome. I think the reason why I really believe in collaboration is because first of all, I feel like you were saying earlier on steps. Sometimes you could make steps and you could do that to-do list and it's overwhelming because it's just so much. But the reality is you don't have to do it alone. You could simply ask someone capable to join in on the vision. And then secondly, I think
Cool.
collaborations are important because one thing I've learned in my experience is because I've done all my documentaries with people. And the reason I love that is it helped me, how do I put this? Like articulate my ideas well. Because I'm like, if I can explain this to you and you can get it, then I'm onto something. Because sometimes we don't do things because we're like, okay, maybe this is not a good idea, or maybe no one's gonna get it, or we start beating ourselves up. So I think that's like really, really cool that you understand the importance of collaborations. And like you're saying in Botswana, it's a weird way that it's a weird thing that we tend to feel like as people like you're saying, somehow we feel like we can't find someone who can think like us or do things like it's not true. You know what I mean? So that ego part of us
Yeah.
that's really screaming, oh, no one else can do it. Like it's not true. Like stop, sis. Like
Yeah.
go find people.
And
They're
at the end
there
of the
and they're
day,
willing to help.
even if someone can't edit like me, you know what I mean? That's not the point.
Right.
Like I can help them edit like okay, I can help them edit better than me. You know what I mean? If I have
Right.
an issue with something that they're doing in their edit, I can be like, "Yo, bro, you know that thing you did? I don't like that." And then they'll explain maybe
Mm,
why they liked it, or if not, they'll just change it. You know what I mean? Then I haven't had to do all the dirty work just to get to that point where I can just fix that one issue. If like you really know what you want, you'll be able to teach someone how to do it. You know what I mean? Like a good teacher,
yeah.
the best teacher is the
There's a
person who
lot of
knows how to
patience
do
that
it.
comes with
You know what I mean?
collaborating when you know what you want. Yeah. Like if you know how you want something
So
to be,
it's
you're
like
able to make those adjustments with the people
exactly.
that
If I
are
can't
capable
express
of
to my
doing it.
team, sorry, if I can't express to my team how I want it done, then I'm not expressing it well enough. You know what I mean? So I typically like these. Okay, now let me just drop some film examples. One of the greatest films of all time, Jean, bro. Like, I just want to give a shout out to Jean because Jean's my boy, and it's largely because of him that I'm making films, to be honest. Like, shout out to him for real. So Bicycle Thieves, that's one of the greatest films of all time, right? It's a classic. It's from the
Hmm.
1940s. It's an Italian film. And basically after the war, after World War II, um, this director didn't have access to professional actors and all the like. You know what I mean? He had to do what he had to do with what he had, right? And all of his cast is amateurs. You see what I mean? And it's like he managed to make a classic by helping people who weren't actors act well. And that's almost
Kizito. Okay, guys, we'll just wait for Kizito to come so long. But basically what we've been discussing, oh, there we go.
hello, am I there? Sorry, I don't know what happened. Hey guys, my
Mm-hmm.
lights is horrible. I'm sorry.
As long as we
Like
can hear
I
you.
like dark films too much. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but I want to answer this question because if you're working, are you there? Am I?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
If you're if you're working solo, how do you stay motivated and try and avoid the procrastination stage? Hmm. Hey, bruh. How do I
That's
do that?
something I'll be
So I'm
touching
working
on
solo.
tomorrow because that's when you have. Do you mean, Michelle, when you have like a creative block? Is that what you mean? Like when you just confirm if like you mean when you are like stuck and you can't move forward, um, like just confirm if that's what you mean. But I want to read a quick quote by John. He said, "A good director surrounds himself with the right people and shares her vision. That's the job. So the job involves sharing. Sharing is caring."
Exactly. Um, Let me try
I
and
want to
answer this
quickly
question. Let me
go
think about. I
to
have to think
my
about. I won't
next.
lie.
I want to quickly go to my next questions because after an hour the live is gonna end and I want us to finish within that time. But basically, I wanted to ask, you're a media student, and for me, I'm thinking, okay, you go to school, you've got assignments, and obviously I'm going to assume there's a difference between the work you put out in assignments and what you do as personal projects because of so many factors that we won't go to. But you know what I mean? So I want to understand from you, like, basically, how do you navigate that and how do you um basically how do you ensure that the quality of your portfolio is constantly improving regardless of the deadlines that are created at school?
Okay, I'll say to be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna be a good model for this question. I don't care about my school assignments that much. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing it for the grades. I'm doing it to pass. You know what I mean? I'm way more considerate of how good my work is outside of school. So I'm just trying to make good stuff for the world, not for school. So I really just
So you're above
with the
that.
school stuff, I just get it done. I just get it done. Put
Right.
in basically as little energy as I can to actually get done what I need to get done. then I focus on the real stuff. Obviously, I would say
So
in the
that's what.
beginning, when I was starting, in the first year, you try to learn, right? You know what I mean? Like if you get a job, like you get an assignment which you don't like, cool. But you can try to learn from it, you know what I mean? Try to see how you can learn something from the assignment, cool. But if you have something else to do outside, I prioritize that. I'm sorry. Sorry, Limco. I don't care about you that
Your
much.
name dropping, bro. Your name dropping.
Hey, but I don't care
Oh my
about
God. All right, as an arts
I feel
enthusiast, I
like
want
one
to
day I'm gonna be
understand.
in serious trouble.
This is gonna come back to haunt you. As an arts enthusiast, I had asked in my last the brief that I
Okay,
sent you,
wait,
the script
sorry,
that I sent you
let
for
me
this
try
interview.
and let me try and answer Michelle because she's asked, and I feel like as much as I
Wait,
might
wait,
not have
wait.
like a perfect trick answer for that procrastination phase, I just want to say that it's about, without being disrespectful, we shouldn't take ourselves so seriously. We should just understand that it's like, okay, especially like when people hire you for a job, you know, we put more pressure on ourselves than the client is putting on us often, I would say. And
Mhm.
people hire you because they believe in you. You know what I mean? They believe in what you do. They want you, and we are not perfect. So when you
Right.
hire me to write a script for you, it's not going to be a perfect script. Although I'm trying to write one, I need to just find a way to just say, Husa, it's not perfect. It's me. It's Kizito. You know what I mean? And no matter what it is,
Mhm.
it's just like embrace your weaknesses. Understand that it's beautiful to make a film that's flawed. It's beautiful to make a song that's flawed. Like I love watching Scorsese's old films and just being like, it's not there, bro. It's not there. It's not there, but you're getting there. You know what I mean? And
Oh my
listen to
God.
old songs from Chance the Rapper, and it's just like, you know, it's not that great. It's not that great. But he did it. He loved it because it was himself. He was so
I lost Kizito, guys. Can you see him? Okay, I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see if he's gonna come back. But basically, what I was saying, about I want to go back to my question on media students because I feel like Michelle, I think, is a question, and I know I did as well. And so for me, I think my advice would be, okay, I won't lie, I also did the whole just do it for the assignment thing, and it drained me. And I feel like if you're gonna study your passion, the last thing you want is to feel drained. So if there's one thing that I can take from that is, from my experience, what I could share is like you have to find a way to kind of create work that still speaks to how to the portfolio that you want to build, but more so, um wait more so I think it's also a thing of the thing about school and studying your passion, and this is what they used to say a lot in photography schools. They used to say like they're trying to teach us discipline because sometimes you're gonna have clients, and I mean it's cool to work solo, but sometimes you're gonna have clients and sometimes you're gonna have people basically like working, and people who call you out as clients and are basically like, we want this done by this time. And like that's what school is meant to teach you apparently. That's what they used to tell us. So I think it's good if you have that kind of perspective, maybe it will be easier for you to navigate through assignments. I lost Kizito, guys, so I'm just gonna wait for him to come online and answer the last couple of questions. Otherwise, thank you for joining. And also Michelle, like I was saying about creative blogs, I have a whole blog post tomorrow. Um, Coming out tomorrow. I completed it before I started this live. It's an amazing blog post. I think I might even just have two blog posts to accompany it so that it's good. I'm just gonna wait for Kizito and see if let me see if I can add him to. I'm just gonna wait for Kizito to come online, guys. So bear with me. But basically, what we've been discussing thus far, just a quick summary. is we've been talking about procrastination, we've been talking about the importance of time management to be creative, and we spoke of, oh, there he is. I'll wrap up in a minute or so, and I'll give you guys the lowdown on the quick summary of what we've been discussing. But yeah, I'll let him take the last question that
Sorry.
Michelle said.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. You were talking Michelle's question. I think you're answering Michelle.
Yeah, basically, if we just respect that, I think we put pressure on ourselves. So if we don't put pressure on ourselves and embrace our weaknesses, I think that helps you take a step forward. I don't think it solves all the problems of procrastination. You know what I mean? As much as I've already adopted that mentality, like I basically made my
Right.
last film willing for it to be like bad. Like I was ready for it to be bad. Still I procrastinate. You know what I mean? It's not I haven't figured out any solo solution. Like the best solution I have so far is to call my boys and help them help me. But first steps is to just embrace that, understand and love the fact that there's beauty in whatever it is you're gonna create. So don't put so much pressure on yourself.
Totally. I agree with that. And I wanted to ask you, okay, I don't know if this applies to you because I don't think you do it or have done it because I know you're all about doing the work. But have you ever gotten to a point where you're like, okay, I'm just gonna pause and put this on hold for a bit so I can reboot my inspiration or just something along those lines?
Hmm. Um, I maybe
Not
haven't
quite?
put things on hold for that reason. I think
Okay.
I tend to have creative ideas very quickly. So the thing
Yeah.
that's most likely to make me put something on hold is that I lose interest, to be honest. I'll be working on this thing, and if it's taking long, in that period, I've come up with another idea. So I start working on that new idea. And that's what usually makes me put things
Okay.
on hold. And it's problematic. You know what I mean? It's I'm not finishing things. I start and I start and stop before I finish over and over and over again. So I continually just start new projects over and over again. Um, I think planning wise, I haven't been effective. You see what I mean? It's like I should plan for that. I should know that going into this project, it's likely that I'm going to lose interest halfway through. So what should I do? Plan to finish the thing in a specific amount of time. So next year I'm not going to be taking any projects which are going to be taking long because I know how I am. You have to know yourself. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. I just lose
Right.
interest and
There's
I
that
move on to
as
the next
well.
thing. So so make things which
So
are gonna
yeah, I
take
mean,
2 weeks. Come up with projects which are gonna take 2 weeks.
sometimes it also, like you were saying, you need to know yourself. I think that's another thing when you're working solo is sometimes you can't see things and you need I'll say a trusted pair of eyes because sometimes not all criticism is welcome. Like you have to filter critics. And I wrote about that in an old blog post, so you can check that on the site. But basically, it's important to have another set of eyes to say, look, it's not that it's not that you should give up this entire thing, but I've looked at it and this is what you need to fix up and you'll be good. So sometimes it's an issue of letting people in and trusted people that understand the kind of work that you do or can even be able to recognize you at your best and are able to say, this is what you need to do in order to improve that. I want to quickly
Yeah,
wrap
one
up because
thing
I know that
which
the live is going to end midway. But I wanted to
alright,
ask,
cool.
because I know we're both art enthusiasts, and I don't know how much of unfinished art that you like, but I wanted to understand, do you appreciate the bravery of, I know artists who like release work that's unfinished just to kind of appreciate the beauty of um putting it out there and just being brave about it all. So what do you think about that? Because I know you're already brave about um acknowledging the flaws in a creation or in something that you're working on in a project, and you're already fine with accepting that as okay, this was not my best work and it's fine, there's no problem. But have you ever, or do you rather appreciate the bravery of people just putting work out there that's like, look, I did this. I just want you guys to know that I
Yeah.
did this, where the bravery becomes more of their focus of their work.
Yeah, I mean, think about like the situation we were just speaking about, right? Like we start something and then we don't finish it. Like it's almost like we should be art is about expression. Art is about expressing yourself. And a part of myself and Michelle's, right, is that we start things and don't finish them. So maybe that's something we could celebrate. Maybe one day, like, we just, actually, I did even tell you this earlier, like, there's a film which I full on have basically abandoned for maybe a year now. I'm gonna show it as it is. Like, just, I basically only finished editing one scene. I'm going to show that one scene eventually. Um, and that's beautiful. Like, just think about that. Imagine there was an artist who all his paintings were very explicitly not finished. That was his thing. That was his brand. Is that he starts things and he doesn't finish them, but he shares them anyway. That would be beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean? That would almost. It's almost like art critics could analyze which part he starts on. Isn't it interesting how he
Oh my
he
gosh, I can't
paints
even
on the
imagine
left
that.
side of the canvas like this? He doesn't, do an outline. It's like there's so much to learn from whatever it is we can contribute. We don't need to like be so hard on ourselves to finish it the way that society has deemed we should. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
let's love ourselves, man. Like let's love our art. Let's love everything, you know? That's how I feel about it,
Right.
man. So like with
But yeah,
my
I
with
get
when
what
I
you mean.
yeah, like I'm gonna show my film. I'm gonna show my film unfinished, like full on unfinished. I might even show it with the sound being all messed up where no one is gonna enjoy it because the sound is bad. It's what I have, and it's just been sitting on my computer for a year. Okay, maybe like not really a year, but almost a year. And I think it's better to show it than to not show it. It's better to just say,
True.
hey, this is something I did, it's not finished, forgive me, and you move on into life.
Michelle says that's another aspect we're thinking about. I feel like, first of all, I feel like, sorry, I'm just reading a comment. I'm the same. I can lose interest. Will not finish a lot of work. Settle for less. Something I'm still working on. All right. But basically, what I wanted to say was that I feel like you're saying, we need to get to a point as artists where we stop this idea. And like, it's very easy. Like, especially, I feel like the reason why um people like us who already analyze a lot of art and already look at the grades and all of that stuff, it's very easy to measure up ourselves against that and expect the most from ourselves. And like you're saying, it really comes from being easy with yourself and just, it's cool. For me, I'm getting to a point, and even the website I feel is, for me, it's one of my greatest passions because of the fact that it merely celebrates development. It focuses on celebrating where we're at as creators right now, all the
Yeah,
battles we're facing right now. You know what I mean? With Michelle, for instance, like years from now, when she doesn't exhibit, because she does phenomenal work, when she doesn't exhibit or does some kind of showcase, she'll remember like, oh, there was that conversation where we were talking about procrastination, and look at me now. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's important to showcase the process. I feel like even in my last documentary, the process was like the best part of it all, and being able to share that with people was the coolest thing. So now I'm trying to do a thing where I mandatory have behind the scenes for everything that I do, because I feel like that's the fun part for me. You know what I mean? The end
it's
product is
beautiful.
is cool and that's great, but it's like really, the motions of going through all these things of wanting to quit, wanting to stop, not being inspired, all these things, getting people to understand your vision, them finally getting it, correcting, making corrections and adjustments as you go. All that stuff is just so beautiful to document because it's
It's
real
so
and it's
beautiful.
raw. And even when you do collaborate, it's not always easy, and they're not always going to get your vision at that second. And it's not always like a very like magical kind of thing, but there's beauty in finally having an end product that kind of speaks for all the trials you went through during the course of that
Yeah,
collaboration. So I like that you
the
touched
drama
on
of the
that.
production. Yeah.
So,
Um,
exactly, production.
yeah.
Final remarks just before I summarize everything we just said.
Let me answer my boy. Basically, I am in film school, but don't worry about film school. Film school ain't nothing. Like, like, well, the way that the
Lyra's
internet has
asking when you
liberated.
showcase. Great
Sorry.
question, Lyra.
Oh, when do I
Lyra
show?
wants
Okay,
to
but
know
just
when you
let me just finish
showcase.
that. Like the internet has liberated us, and we can learn everything we want from home. You know what I mean, or from an internet cafe, whatever it is. Like the internet is liberated. I've learned 10 times more from the internet and from books as well. By the way, books. Get
Bro,
them
the
books,
live is
fam.
gonna end in like
And
2 minutes, I think.
I'll definitely put a shout out for everyone who has come to the premiere. They'll hear about it. I'll make sure. Yeah.
All right,
Um,
guys, I think
and
that's
I've
as
been another.
much
Alright, cool.
as as much time as we have because I don't want it to cut while we're saying like our farewells. But thank you so much for the turnout and the questions. I'm going to Michelle, I'm going to readjust my blog post so that it can incorporate some of the things that you brought up today so that it can serve you better. Lyra, she asked when do you showcase, where do you showcase? I'll see if I can also incorporate that in tomorrow's blog post. Otherwise, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Kizito, for joining and being honest and raw. I like that you were like very, very honest about it all. My nigga, so thank you so much for pulling through. This
No
was
problem.
cool. This was fun.
My
I'm
falare, I
glad we
see you,
finally
boy.
did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is
Thanks,
now when
guys.
Kutz is
Thank
coming.
you,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you so much, guys. Shout out to Kutz because I'm actually going to be interviewing him this week. So I'm excited for that. Otherwise, thank you guys. This IG live will be available on YouTube probably tomorrow. I'm gonna try upload it tonight. And yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to go and rewatch and grasp everything that we've discussed. Otherwise, thank you for the turnout. Thank you for joining me, Kizito. Thanks so much for doing this.
No problem. Thank you
All right,
for
cheers,
this.
bro.
Thanks.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye.